All right. Hey guys, welcome back to Sun Crypto. It is June 26, 2023, 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So in today's content, we'll take a look at BTC on a macro, on the 3D, weekly, possibly on the weekly. On the monthly, right? The monthly candle about to close in 3 to 4 days, right? So let me check the chat room to see if we got 589. Hey, what's up, Pablo S Crypto? Thanks a lot for tuning in. We got Mr. Shu. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We got a big breakout, guys, from below the 3D21 back up to the 31k, 32k area resistance, right? So are we gonna be breaking out above the 31, 32k area? We'll take a look at it in terms of lagging indicator, moving averages, Fibonacci's, and all that good stuff, right? The 50% retracement did not happen. BTC did not break below the trendline support, did not retest the 50% pullback. It does have a gap right around like a 20k, which is currently at 0.618. So we'll see over the next like a few weeks or even month, right? Because we know it takes time for BTC to pull back and all that good stuff, right? So the sound is good, says Pablo S Crypto. What's up, Tails? Thanks a lot for tuning in, right? So now on the 3D, let's just go ahead and review what we've been saying or what we've been following over the last few years regarding the 3D trend. It is a very easy strategy, especially in a bull market, okay? But if market is moving sideways, it requires additional analysis, right, on a higher time frame like weekly, 5D, or even monthly to confirm the 3D trend and all that good stuff, right? So first thing first, right? What we've been saying like is, if we get a bullish MACD, right, and price action above the 21 EMA, most of the time it is a bullish uptrend, okay? If we get a bearish MACD, just like what happened right here in April, right? Price action below the 3D 21 EMA, we tend to get what? A bearish momentum, right? So we did create a bearish momentum back in May, late May, early May, late April. We created the bearish momentum right here after we broke out below the 27.5, 27.9 range, right? Came back down to a 24.7, give or take, right here, right? Before pushing to the upside. What happened right here? MACD was negative, exactly, right? And if you recall, when we were going down, based on our 3D analysis, what we were saying was like, if the 3D MACD crosses positive right here, we could be getting a temporary pullback, and price action could be pushing back up to 28.5. If it breaks 28.5, it could get a full retracement, and that could coincide with BTC being in this range for the entire quarter, or even like the entire second half of the year. It could still be in this range, but we don't know yet, okay? We just saying, if it gets rejected right here around like a 32k area, it could come back down to 25k, 24k area and stay there, right? And print a possible macro flat correction, right? And print a double top right here and a double bottom right here, or even possibly below the range, because it all depends on what type of flat correction it will decide to do, okay? Just like what happened right here back in January, right, till March, okay? We created a double top right here, but extended below, right, below the primary support around like a 21.5 and dumped down to like a 19.5, okay? So it is still possible for the for the bearishness, right, to print a double top, double bottom right here, right? But it is not confirmed yet because the 3D is positive, okay? It changes everything. The 3D MACD being positive, the 2D MACD being positive, right? The 4D is positive, right? If we take a look at it on the weekly, it is also positive, okay? Even though the weekly was slightly negative for like a couple of weeks, the big move we just had right here changed the weekly momentum, okay? So if you take a look at the weekly right now, it is strongly positive, right? I wouldn't say strongly. You could still make an argument, right? It is a bearish divergence, okay? You know, we got a higher high right here, lower high right there. So you could make an argument by saying, hey, this is a weekly divergence. Okay, but we'll have to wait and see, right, how we're going to be closing the next few 3D candles, right? Because the 3D MACD, it is still positive. Okay, so cannot ignore the momentum, right? And don't want to be too bearish too soon, because price action could stay in this range for, you know, forever, right? So let me take a look at the chart room once again. Hey, what's up? KAOSFR. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Right. So now let's go back to the weekly time frame. Okay. So the weekly 21 EMA, right, surprisingly, right, supported the price right here, just like what it did right here also. Okay. Even though it was a bearish momentum, the weekly MAC bulls decided to get control of the trend by supporting the price action just about like a 25K. Dump below it, retested the trend line support. Now it is a big move, similar to what happened right here, but we will see. Okay, so we'll see over the next like a couple of weeks if bears going to be showing up at 32K area. Okay, so now let's take a look at it on the daily basis. So on the daily basis, price action, it is still consolidating right in this range. Got the move above the trend line resistance, broke above the resistance area right here, 28 and a half, right there. So that 28 and a half going to represent, right, a support. And if you extend it, you can see right here we did have a strong resistance right here back in you know, March or April, right, before the breakout up to like a 31K. Did have a strong resistance right here. So if price action over the next like a few days, right, decide to retest this level right here, depending on the volatility, okay, you know, that's going to represent the support level. Excuse me. And if we do it in terms of like a Fibonacci, if we do a swing low to swing high, right, that's a 50% pullback. Okay, that's a 50% pullback right at 28 to 28.3, depending on which exchange you're using, right there. Okay, so the level of 382 down to a 50% pullback, 382 at 28.8, right, 50% pullback, it is actually at 28.1. Okay, but that's the level right here. I would say mid-range, just about like a 28 and a half, right, that will cover the entire, you know, resistance support area. Okay, resistance right here, support slash resistance right there, now could be flipping as a you know, as a new support on a daily basis, right? On the daily, at the same time, for the longer term trend, it really doesn't matter if you want to take a look at it on the daily or on the weekly. We got some higher lows right here. Okay, so even if we break below the you know, 50% pullback right here, depending on the timing, it could still get a support from the macro trend line support right here. I'm calling it macro because we are assuming, okay, 16K, 17K going to be the bottom for the 4-year cycle till basically 2025, until we basically hit our macro peak within the next like a 24 month. Okay, so we'll continue to follow the trend right here, and this could possibly end up being a wedge pattern. We just don't know how steep the wedge pattern going to be. Is it going to go all the way up to a 37, 39, right? Is it just going to get rejected right around like a 33, 35K area? We'll see over the next like a few weeks what's going to happen, right, regarding the wedge pattern, right? But it is just an insight you want to keep an eye on over the next like a few you know, over the next like a few weeks. All right, so now let's take a look at the macro fibs to the upside, right? Okay, so when we take a look at the macro fibs on a monthly basis, right, we got 0.618 right around like a 39k, 41k, but once again, I do not think we will get there before end of the month. Even though BTC is crazy, it can do whatever it wants to do, right? Because we just talk about the daily basis, right, in a possible consolidation back down to the 28.5 and all that good stuff. Okay, so on the monthly basis, the 0.618, it is right around like a 39 to a 41, but could take multi-month to get there. Okay, on the downside, 50% pullback, we already discussed it back in Q4 last year, just about like a 16k, 17k area. Okay, mid-range, just about like a 23k area if you want to take a look at it on a monthly basis. The problem with the trend is like you just don't know, okay, how high, right, the wave one going to be. That's the problem. Sometimes you can get your divergence and everything, like what we had on the 3D basis. We did have a divergence. Let's go back on the 3D. We did have a divergence right there, right, on the 3D basis, right? So you would be assuming, okay, that's your wave 3 and that's your wave 5. So a divergence between wave 3 and wave 5, they, it tends to basically signal, right, the end of the trend. Okay, for instance, let me just do it like this. Okay, if you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you get a divergence between your wave 3 and wave 5, let's say your MACD doing something like that, okay, so you would be assuming, okay, that's the end of the trend, and you're going to be looking for some fibs retracement back down to possibly even like a 0.618. But sometimes you just don't know, because you have to follow your lagging indicator, your moving averages, and all that good stuff. You might be saying like it's it is going to dump down to 0.618, and 382 going to be the support, right? Going to be the support you probably would be ignoring. Okay, just like what happened right here. If we take a look at it in terms of fibs, we did get a support at 382, but that support was only based on linear scale, right? If I do a swing low, let's do this. If I do a swing low to swing high, right, you can see 382 was right there at 24.9, okay, and we hit that level exactly, right? So sometime, like you might be saying, I was saying like, let's see, we could be retesting 382 right here based on log scale, but I wasn't using the using the linear scale, and price action just retested the 382 based on the linear scale and all that good stuff. Okay, so if we go back on the monthly, once again, the monthly resistance, okay, going to be up to 0.618, but it could take multi-month, so it could take like the entire second half just to get up to like a 39 second half of the year, Leroy, okay, to get up to like a 39, 41k. Okay, so but we'll see how it goes over the next like a few weeks in terms of like a monthly MACD. I remember we talked about it a while back in Q1, right, 2023. We were saying like the monthly MACD could cross positive, right, but it could also signal the end of the trend. So we just have to be very, very cautious with the monthly MACD. Even though everything is looking good on the higher time frame, we're saying like, okay, 16k, 17k going to be our macro bottom till we hit like the next bull market peak sometime in mid 2025 around 150 to 180. So 16k going to be the bottom of that bull run, right? But the wave 2, you don't know how deep your wave 2 going to be. All right, that's why we're following the 3D, the 2D, the weekly, and all that good stuff, and at the same time try to incorporate it with the monthly, right? But I don't think the monthly MACD crossing positive going to be significant, right, over the next like a few months, right? Because it could, it is still going to be significant, right? It could cross positive and still giving us a top formation. You see what I'm saying? Because we've seen it multiple times where your MACD crosses positive, like what happened right here. We crossed positive and we ended up dumping back down to the lows. Okay, right here we cross positive, right, and still dump back down to retest the lows. Okay, so and I'm not expecting the same magnitude of pump. Let's say right here we had like nearly 400% pump. Because of the diminishing return, I don't think we will get like 400% pump, right? Because it'll take us like above all-time high. And we're saying like this is wave one, so if it is going to be wave one, it might not break above all-time high. It is still possible wave one goes up to like, you know, 69, 70K, who knows, right? That is still possible, okay? But the probability as of now, it is not extremely high, so I wouldn't be looking for my wave one to do something like that. And you know, this is possible. Anyone can print something like that, okay? But the probability might not be very, very high, right? And all that good stuff. So let's take a look at it on the quarterly now, right? So when we take a look at BTC on the quarterly, right, we got two bullish quarterly cycles, right? So in terms of like a macro reversal, it is a good news. Okay, we got 6 months. Okay, we've been talking about like the 6 month cycle, right? And you know, we got two bullish, right, quarterly cycles, right? So it is a good news once again for the bulls. So we'll see over the next like a few quarters if bulls going to remain above the 15, 5, 17K area. I'm not talking about like on a daily basis and all that good stuff, right? But over the next like a 6 month, if we get another 6 month bearish cycle, it could just be a bull flag in this range, okay? Or a, you know, wave 2 retracement, which is something like we've been talking about over the last few weeks, few months. We've been saying like the wave 2 likely to come, right, at some point. And we'll continue to follow it over the next like a few months and all that good stuff, right? But the quarter looks extremely bullish, right? Especially going into the next halving in like 9 months, right? Sometime in March, April, right? So that is very bullish, right? If you're trading BTC on the macro level, not like for the next like a, you know, 3 days, 5 days and stuff like that, okay? The 15K range to 30K range could be an accumulation range. I know it is a big range, right? But just like you can see right here between you know, 3K to 6K range, that was 100% move, right? But BTC is still pumped up to like a 70K. So 15K to 30K, it is still a big range. But for the macro trader, if you're looking for the next bull market pick, it is still accumulation. It is still, you know, you still can consider it as an accumulation range, right? If you don't care about like the day-to-day noise, the 15-second noise and all that good stuff, we could say regardless of what we're going to get in the second half of the year, right? What, you know, regardless of what type of a sideways correction, what type of a wave 2 we're going to get, we are still in a bull run. And I've been saying it, okay? BTC, since like the close, since like we closed right here above the quarterly 21, I was saying like it might not, you know, we might not see, okay, BTC coming back down around like a 16K in Q2, right? Even though we were in a bearish momentum, we did not expect like a BTC to retrace all the way down to like a 16K, 17K in Q2. So, and the probability, it is very low right now to be dumping like a, you know, let's say 50% in like 2 days without no bearish momentum, okay? So let me take a look at the chat room to see if you guys have any question regarding BTC, right? And by the way, we tend to be above the the monthly 21 EMA, right? But you know, before the, during each halving, okay, we tend to be above the monthly 21 EMA. So if you take a look at it right now, the monthly 21 EMA is right around like a 28K. So regardless of what type of correction we're going to get, we could assume, right, over the next like a few months before the halving or by the time of the halving, we could be back above the monthly 21 if we do not take out the 35K, 37K, 40K area, retrace back down 50% and all that good stuff, depending on the volatility, right, and the support levels, right? Price action could still be back above the monthly 21 EMA by Q1 2024, right? Because we're going to get our you know, we're going to get the next halving in in Q1, I think late Q1 2024, we'll see. Okay, but it is going to be between you know, March and May, right? So all right, so let me know, guys, if you have any question regarding BTC or any alt. Hey, what's up, Chris? Thanks a lot for tuning in, man. All right, so let's take a look at it on the 6 hour. The 6 hour time frame. Last week, after we got the pump right here, I was looking at the range 28.5, right, to act as a strong resistance, right here, but we did not even like you know, take a break at 28.5 right here, 28.6, right? So as soon as we pump above the 31k, above 30k area, what I was saying was like, you know, we could be consolidating for the rest of the, you know, for the rest of the week, waiting for the weekly to close and price action going to make a decision. Okay, so now you can see we got back, you know, we basically pulled back down to the 6 hour 21 EMA. The 6 hour MACD, it is still negative, so we'll see over the next like a few days if it is going to print some sort of pattern, some sort of it could be a consolidation range, right? 20, you know, 31 and a half going to be the resistance level, right? And the temporary support just about like a 29.8 range. Okay, if it doesn't print the double top double bottom, it can still print a zigzag formation. So we don't know what type of patterns, right, we could get in this range. It could be, you know, head and shoulder, wedge pattern, any type of pattern. Okay, this could end up being a wedge pattern, something like that. But the main thing to remember is like it is in correction phase, right, borrowing phase, and we could possibly get, you know, head and shoulders right here, right? You're still going to get your head and shoulder pattern right there, right? You're still going to get your wedge pattern just like that, right? And you could also get a possible descending triangular formation. So we don't know what type of pattern we're going to get right here. So you don't want to rush too soon, right? Expecting one pattern and you know, price action decides to do something completely different, right? So, but just keep an eye on 31.5 for the rest of the month, right, to be a resistance, right? And the 28.5 right here being what, a temporary support. Okay, on average 28.5 being a temporary support, resistance right here. All right, so if we break the 28.5, break below the 27.3, 27.2, the probability of printing a flat just like that, right, could be on the way. Okay, it's going to be pretty high to print something like that. So we don't want to break at any given time within this range, right? We don't want to break below the 27.3 range. Okay, even though it is going to be close to the macro trend line support right here, right? You know, you just want to be cautious, okay, because it could easily break it and retest the 25k area, right? All right, so you guys don't have any question regarding any alt, so I'm just gonna call it a day. So just wanted to make it a short and quick live stream regarding BTC, since like the volatility is back in business, right? All right guys, thanks a lot for watching.